All right, everybody, and we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Multiverse podcast, episode 22. Thank you guys for stopping on by. We got a really interesting show. Not a lot has come out in the last week or so. We've pretty much been dominated by No Man's Sky talk, so we're kind of just seeing how it'll go. But today, I want to reintroduce my co-host, Fame Entertainment 2K.
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from the Inner Circle, and welcome to another episode of the Multiverse, which is by far the greatest podcast on a Monday. If you start a podcast on Mondays and you ain't nothing, and your podcast's gonna suck, because this is the best one, and you can't take that crown. Nothing you can do about it. As you guys know, we do have a Gears of War 4 giveaway. I pray to God that Anchorman put that giveaway down in the description below. If he didn't, go to the website, type in Gears of War 4 giveaway, and enter to win. And as always, get your gaming news from TICGN.com and nowhere else.
Yep, and we have our our regular guest. We have the other Jez.
The other Jez, yes, not to be confused with Jez Codone at Windows Central. And I'm Jez77 on Game Tag and on Xbox, and I'm Jez7780 on Twitter. I've been on this podcast a couple of times, and I'm excited to be back. I was a little excited when Anchorman said, "Come on down." So glad to be here, guys.
Oh man, thanks for showing up again. So yeah, we got a very interesting show lined up. Briefly, want to talk about something that's come up recently. It's kind of small news. So Destiny is, for those of you that have been living under a rock, is a MMO light attempt by Activision or also Bungie, and they have done okay. I mean, not. I don't think it was at any levels anyone was expecting, but they've done pretty good, pretty sustained player base. At least on Xbox, you can check it out. They're normally somewhere in the top 10 as in the last month or so. So it's been really interesting to watch them develop over the last 2 years. And they came out and announced that, first of all, there's going to be the Year 3 expansion, which is called Rise of Iron, and that's going to be available. But they also announced that there's going to do something called the Collection. Now, I don't really know about this panel here, about their experiences with Destiny, but real quick, just get a general idea for the general audience. What do you guys thought about Destiny?
You can go, Fame.
I ain't cared about Destiny since
Crickets.
the beta. I haven't played it since the beta. I don't care to play it. It's just not for me. I could care less if Destiny is the greatest game ever or if it sucks. It's just not for me. I have no thoughts whatsoever. No likes or dislikes. It's just not for me. So I guess I plead the fifth.
Yeah, I played the beta and I skipped it the whole year. I got it with the what was the King expansion? Like when what was that one called? Yeah, the Taken King. That's when I purchased it and I played it for a little bit, and it was it's basically horde mode Halo, and I just can't. I see just like the brutes are these guys, and it's just I felt dirty playing it. Like I thought it was just a reskinned type Halo game, and I was not a fan of it, and I didn't like how everything was the DLC. They give you the base disc, so you can't even trade that thing in. That thing's worth $2. And I wonder with this expansion if they're going to do the same thing, if this is going to be the base vanilla Destiny, and then everything is just the DLC to download, and basically it's all you're paying for the DLC, and that's DRM in a nutshell. Basically, that game's worth useless trade-in because it's the vanilla. It's very creative on their part, but I'm not a fan of it. It's one of those games where if you miss the boat and your friends are like a 30 and leveled up with light armor and all that other stuff, it's boring grind.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. Here's the thing, with Destiny, I was really kind of on board with it. I was sold on the beta that they put out there over the 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll try it. I'll pick it up. I played it, and I played about, I think, 120 hours or something like that. I gave the game plenty of time. I got back in after they released the first 2 expansions, so I did try it out for a bit. But what kind of pushed me away from it was how they handled Taken King, where, see, I don't really like MMOs in that manner, where they take away content that you already paid for to give it a little extra incentive for the next stuff. For example, they'll do weeklies or they'll do dailies, and it's kind of just a random selection based on all the missions, but they only do the missions that are available with the latest gear or the latest update. And if you don't have it, like if it that day you don't have that certain mission because you don't have the DLC, you don't get to play the daily. You don't get to play anything else. And they make it such a pain because I remember the difference. I didn't buy Taken King, and I checked out. I remember when Taken King dropped, I checked out the missions, the weapons. So I had a pretty decent setup of weapons from year one, and when they released year two, the most basic bottom of the barrel weapon in year two was better than my exotic weapons from year one. And I was like, this is bullshit. I was really pissed off because of that. It was like, this is not even like fair. And also they did a thing where you could skip your levels just so you could play the Taken King portion, which I thought was kind of cheap.
Well, the one thing they are doing with this thing is that they are extending the support of it. Like, this is kind of like one of these type of games where they're trying to do it as a service and just keep supporting it with DLC. It's very challenging in this type of game where the level keep changing, and I think they have to make it more, like they should have done it by planets. And that I think would have been more comprehensive to say, oh, now you're going to get Jupiter, now you're going to get Neptune, now you're going to get this one, and like say now they're planet DLCs, because when they say Taken King or Destinies of whatever armor or whatever the hell they call this one, it's just like, I don't know, that does not get me excited because I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, but I just don't. That was my major issue with it. That it was like, wow, you just kind of just took a crap all over me. Thanks. But anyway, why we're bringing up Destiny? This is just really the larger issue at hand. So Destiny, they announced that they're going to be having something called the Destiny Collection, which will be coming out when Rise of Iron drops. I think it's this month or is next month. I think it might be next month. I'm not positive about that. But they announced that they were going to be dropping this DLC, and as well as you get this game. And so people who picked up Taken King last year are kind of a little pissed off about it. I mean, it's understandably pissed off, but it's also kind of stupid. It namely has to do with they had given the ability in the first game. You got all the prior DLCs and you got Taken King for $60. And now what they're offering is you can get all the past DLCs plus Rise of Iron for $60, which some people, I shouldn't say a lot, a significant number of people are a little miffed that it's like, oh, so all the prior DLCs, because you could buy Rise of Iron for like $40, so everything prior was only worth $20.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and what they keep doing is they keep adding. They try to get the new audience on, like, so they say like, well, here's everything, so it's a good sale for somebody who has not jumped into it, but for everybody who's been buying the DLC, it really is just like, they're the loyal people. Those are the ones that they're upsetting.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I could see both sides of the coin, that you feel like you're kind of cheated off, that it's like, oh wow, like it's all just falling off. But at the same time, I mean, this is likely the last expansion before Destiny 2 gets announced. So, I mean, I'm not... And the value of the game's going to be 3 years old. So, I mean, the base game is pretty much worthless.
Yeah. Well, right now at Best Buy, the Taken King is on sale for $30. It was $40. So, and that includes expansion 1, 2, and the Taken King.
Mm.
It's on sale for $30. So, they're probably prepping for this DLC.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, if it's your kind of game, like, I understand being pissed, but this is probably the more interesting part of it, which is the reason why I wanted to bring it up. So, with the idea of this collection kind of leaked out early among some circles, and there was this discussion and this rumor that got started up that, oh, if Activision's bringing out a Destiny collection, that means they're bringing it to PC. Because why would you do that again? Why would you sell all the games all over with all the expansions for $60? Like, why would you do that? And so this rumor got started up that it was going to be Destiny was going to come to PC, and they were going to get really pissed, and that was what the plan was. That it was going to come to PC, and they were going to try to serenade the PC gamers. The PC guys got a little hyped, and when they announced that it was only going to come to Xbox One and PS4, they got pissed. They were like, "This is bullshit. Why do we have to do this?" And so, I just want to briefly get your guys' reactions about that. Do you think they'll ever bring Destiny to PC?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Any
I mean,
reason?
at this point, if they did, I know PC Games not gonna want to hear this, but if this point, if they did, most of them are gonna freaking pirate the game anyway. What's an online game, so they can't, right? Well, hell, I don't know why they wouldn't at this point. It's an online only game, so you really can't pirate it. So, hell, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think they would. I think that they have this it has to do. I think it has to do with just the way that the model is. Like they're just kind of this whole repackaging and doing it's only be successful on a physical platform. Nonetheless, like and the console platform, like they're reaming in they're really screwing it to the people by doing these physical releases and doing this. And if they want to keep making money on it, they're going to keep physical and they're going to go with the consoles. Where this digital model really, they could do it on PC. I just think that they got kind of hook, line, and sinker with everybody who's kind of jumped on this Destiny bandwagon, and there's kind of no need for them to bring it to PC because the market on the consoles is really keeping them afloat. It's going to be real interesting on Destiny 2 what kind of fixes they make and the promises they say and how they sell Destiny 2.
Maybe they just don't want to do the work. Maybe they just don't feel
Right.
like dealing with having to make the game, because if you don't make it right, you got some people complaining. Why is it not? Why can't I run this thing on 1080p, 60 frames, super ultra settings on my GTX 780? This isn't fair. Console sucks. PC no parity. They probably just don't want to deal with the crap, man.
Yeah, probably because and also too they're locked at 30 frames on that one. Like I don't know how that'll be. I don't know how they'll do it on. If they'll put it over to the PC, like you saw with our next topic of No Man's Sky, just throwing something on PC, you have to optimize it. You have to function. You can't just throw it on a PC going.
Otherwise, they either won't buy it or they're going to steal it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Now, I think you bring up an interesting point about Activision just in general. I know I made a Top Shelf episode about that, which, by the way, if you guys are listening to this show, you should go check out Top Shelf that releases every other Friday for
Those are very good videos, I have to say. I did listen to them, and they're very good videos. You should go listen to them.
They're just fun little snippets I like to make. And I talked about this earlier with the concept of remasters, and I kind of delved into Activision a little bit. And Activision is sitting on a boatload of properties they don't really want to do anything with, but they want to make money off of. And so one of the things that's been kind of pissing me off is lately, like right after Comic-Con, they announced Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 were going to come from the PS3 and 360 to Xbox One in a remaster. Now, Ultimate Alliance was a very popular game on the backwards compatibility list and was actually getting requested a lot. And so what they did is they basically threw this in there, and for each individual game, you could spend $40, or you could spend $60 for both. And it was just like, all right, that's kind of gouging, and it's just a port.
They did nothing to it.
They did nothing to the game, and it's ticking me off because it's a way to get around backwards compatibility. Like, oh, we'll look at the backwards compatibility list and determine what game to remaster. But I mean, just moving on from that general thing. They have a ton of properties they're just sitting on, and they want to make money off of with it putting in very minimal effort. I mean, everyone wants to put minimal effort and get a ton of money. I mean, if you're playing Elite Dangerous, you want to do the short runs and get you a million credits easy. I mean, it's not, but it's at the same time you kind of have to prove that it's something worth it. And Activision has gotten really complacent, and like I noticed, like if you guys looked at the recent stuff for Modern Warfare Remaster.
No, I haven't.
You guys looked at it?
No, I saw some clips of it. I didn't.
It doesn't look as impressive as it once was. At least from that reveal trailer, I was like, "Oh wow, it's so different." But I'm taking a look at it now. I'm like, this doesn't even look that good. Like,
yeah. The thing is, this whole remaster thing, I think something went on in the gaming industry. There was some craziness that went on because I think we got these remasters too soon. Like. They were like, hey, new consoles, here's everything you just played on the last gen. It's like, do I really need the remaster right now? Like, have an anniversary edition or, like, celebrate it. Don't just dump it out there. Like, and that's what they're doing. And these games have so many different types of revenue streams now with, let's just remaster this. Is this a 1080p remaster? Is this a retextured one? Is this one with all the DLCs, Game of the Year edition? Is this one have all the... Yeah, it's just there's so many different varying types of of games now. There's no more just like, here's my game, here's my DLC, then give me number 2. It's like, here's the remaster of it, and you get and then backwards compatibility adds more complexity to that, which, that should eliminate a lot of the remasters, because just give me the backwards compatibility so I have my collection with me. But Activision's been very lazy, so that's why I don't think it's going to PC anytime soon. When it dries up, maybe they'll throw like Destiny 1-2 collection on PC, but right now it's not dry. People still play this game, and it's a grind, and I'm not a huge fan of it. Not like shooters, but it just seemed like it was just, I didn't like all the restrictions on it. Like, you had to be a certain level to play this. You need 5 people, no matchmaking. You had to have friends online to do that, and I don't know if they fixed that or they're gonna fix it in 2.
I think my thing, I was really upset that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I don't know why I expected a full-blown MMO. I don't know why I expected that, but that's what I expected. And when I didn't get it, I was like, screw this game.
Yeah. No Man's Sky. I don't keep jumping ahead of No Man's Sky, but it is rinse and repeat with that. Like, we thought it was what it was going to be, and it's just, it's unfortunate. And that thing that was going around today with that Twitter thing with the Jurassic Park
was hilarious.
Listen, I was at work,
even if you love No Man's Sky, that shit's hilarious.
I was at work, and dude thought I was crazy. I was crying, bro. I was pooping myself. I was crying so hard, bro. People thought I was crazy.
I clicked on that video every hour on the hour just to have a laugh. Like, I skipped email from work, and I went there, and I clicked on it. I just laughed, and then I went back, and then I went back again, and it's just hilarious.
That's by far the greatest video of the year. I don't know what to say.
Just to clarify, I'm going to put this in the chat for those of you that are watching. You can watch it later. But it's a video of, they show the 2014 gameplay footage of like the dinosaurs and that weird orange pastel planet, and it's like, oh, look at it,
beautiful.
They're playing Jurassic Park in the background. It's like
No Man's Sky.
Jurassic Park. Da, 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 da. There's all the build up, and then all of a sudden it flips to modern gameplay, and it has this hodgepodge thing, and it's just like,
it's cracking up thinking about
a bipedal deer that has a lizard tail and like a Tyrannosaurus mouth, and it's just walking really awkwardly.
It's walking around like Bonnie the dinosaur.
Monica.
Oh my god, it's like running around, it's like just poking around, like, and it's like a barren wasteland. And yeah, I gotta say, the comment that I got was made me even laugh more. So it added like the guy tweeted me after I tweeted retweeted that video out, and he's like, "But that was a toxic planet. That's why there's no life on there." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" It's a toxic.
Excuses.
I'm like, these are the people. Oh my god, it's a toxic. Yeah, that's why that thing's a mutant. It's running around like Bonnie. No, it's because it's horrible. It's because that. And they said like so many species, and we're jumping into No Man's, but I'm just like, they said there's so many species have been discovered. I have not seen a photo or anything of one of those creatures that was in the 2014 video. Fucking Brontosaurus. There was this little thing grazing in the grass, like, and then these llama things were jumping around. It was like beautiful, and it goes perfect with that Jurassic Park music though. It's like great.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that is something I do want to talk about it.
Oh my god!
Now that we're kind of transitioning to No Man's Sky, I do want to bring up that I've just we were having this discussion earlier. I was talking to one of my friends about that, and they've been playing No Man's Sky for a bit, and they enjoyed the game for about the first 10 hours or so, and they said it starts getting a little repetitive, and so the No, which is a YouTube channel, put out this video talking about some of the stuff they actually data mine the game, and there's a rumor that it's coming to Xbox, but we'll talk about that. That's a different time for a different video.
Yeah.
But one of the issues that was interesting was that whole 2014 thing was scripted, the whole thing.
Oh, we mean scripted.
It was kind of obvious, honestly, but I mean, it's because you don't want.
It wasn't gameplay. It was just like one of those Sony trailers.
It was. I think it was technically gameplay, but it was scripted. Like the planet was pre-approved, and they created everything, made sure everything was in the right place, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's understandable, but it was a little disappointing because the whole thing was they were selling it on was random. It's random everything, new adventure, everything everywhere. It's amazing, and it was a little disappointing that it was actually no, not really. It was entirely scripted, but
Yeah, that was good. And I like to know if those character models were like. I haven't seen like those shape models from what I've seen on the photographs and just a game stream. I've been watching so much of it just to try to get a grasp of like, was this build as what it was? Because there's a huge conspiracy with this game. Like this game has been driving the media coverage for the last 2 weeks. It's been insane. Like how it's just been dominating everything. And just like he lied, they covered it up. This wasn't what it was. It's random. It's and then he just teased a patch. I think today he tweeted out like he has this a patch that PC and PlayStation 4 people are going to be happy with.
mm-hmm.
Do you guys actually see this game coming to Xbox?
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of,
a lot of the games this generation that have been marketed as, oh look, our indie or AA experience is exclusive to our platform, then comes out 6 months later or something like that. That's been very popular this year. I mean, a good example like Don't Starve. You remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
That 2D survival game?
Yep.
And like they market it, oh, it's an exclusive, and that thing's on Xbox now. It's been there for a long time now. I mean, that's what happens. Inside is another example. I mean, that's coming to PlayStation like 2 weeks from now. So I mean, it's a matter of time. And the discussion was just that they data mined the game and they actually bought the license from Havoc for a PS4, a PC, and an Xbox license, which you have to pay for each license. So chances are it's coming to Xbox. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, Bud Holiday. I'm sure they're under a gag order with Sony, and I just think that this whole thing is sort of like what you don't do with indie studios. Like Sony, I don't know what they did. They got them under their arm, and they just kind of focused it, like really put a very I just think they took this indie and blew it up to did some amazing smoke and mirrors. And just made this indie bigger than what it was, and just put a gag and kiboshed any kind of rumors and just keep it quiet and let him just smile and laugh and just say, yeah, it's so much random. You could do anything you want, and just let him just talk out his ass. And Sony be like, and anything gets out of control. Like they controlled it so much that I think this is where a publisher really kind of hurt the game rather than supporting the game. And I just think, and I know with the financial situation with Sony, with keeping the lights on with PlayStation, this was their big game. They said they were treating it like a AAA. But unfortunately, I don't think this game stands up to a AAA. And the pricing, and I hear a lot of the reviews say, if this thing was priced at $20, $30 what it was, maybe it would have been more tolerable. But at a $60 game that really you just mine stuff and survive, it's really not worth it. And and I think also too, and I'll let you guys go, but I do think the other thing too is that by Sony publishing it, they forced them to do a physical release, which made the game not finalized when it came out. They had to do it for when it went gold. So by having a physical release to an indie studio, they had to kind of have it done a month out, and then they had this huge patch that changed the entire game on day one. But I think by Sony forcing them to do a physical release rather than doing the traditional route. Because how many games have you seen launch day one and day one indie studio with a physical copy?
That's actually a pretty good point. I mean, I can't name one that had a day one physical copy.
Look at Rocket League. They look at Rocket League. They're finally coming out with a physical one a year later. Like, oh, we're gonna go physical retail.
I mean that is a good point. I mean, this is kind of it's a double-edged sword. That's why I called the episode "No Man's Hype." It's just that hype is it's a double-edged sword because it gets people excited about a game. It could drive up sales. Now, the problem with it though is that it creates expectations, and we the same thing. And part of the problem was that it had been out. We had heard about this game for so long. We heard about it for over 2 years at this point. And people had expectations of what it was going to be, how it was going to function, and we put a lot of expectation on this indie studio to deliver. And Sony giving it that attention was great because they had a very troubled development time. I mean, it's like the whole thing was flooded. They had to start from scratch a year ago. I mean, it was rough. It was definitely a rough deal they had to go through. But I mean, at the same time, they could have done the hype did not lend itself in the way that it should have, and I'm sure will be put to shame later when they finally come out with a sales update or something like that, like it's selling really well or something like that. But I mean, just it created expectations, and we were talking about this.
And it is selling very well. I mean, isn't it the second fastest selling game on PS4?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I
in
read
Europe
that.
or something. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I read
and
that
it
somewhere.
was
It's like the
very
second fastest
particular.
selling game.
It was like one country. It was one of the fastest selling or something like that.
In Europe, but yeah, it is, and you know, it's not gonna have good sales. Like I think it's just gonna be a great sales on it, like the initial sales. But it's just I don't think the game was, and the reviews really didn't. I thought the reviews are gonna be inflated as such because of the hype, but it looked like the reviews kind of just like was 6s and 7s and
Like ho hums.
yeah, really, like no like 9s and 10s. Like this game's a masterpiece. Like it was sort of like they just like, it's okay, 6 to 7, like just a typical like indie type game. Like you like it and it does what it does well. Like yeah, well, not what it does well, but I don't know. It just seems like very, very just ho hum. Like I thought the reviews were kind of, and I don't know if this is a shift in the focus, but I just feel like a lot of the media and the reviews and stuff. Yeah, and also too, I noticed too that they like preface their reviews with like, don't be mad at me, like guys, just don't like cancel this video, like listen through, like it's an okay game, but it's just not what it was. Like it could be so much better, and
Yeah.
it's just people had to put like the warning signs up because there was just a rabid fan base with it, and I don't know, and also too, like when it released, it got delayed on PC a few days, like a week before they delayed it on PC. So that kind of like when those reviews are coming out, that was all Sony people playing it. It was all the PlayStation fans, and I don't know. I don't want to put people where, but just for some reason, so when you have a Sony console and you're just like real diehard, like you're just starved for games, or they get this huge like cult following, like the Drive Clubs, the Order. It just seems like these Sony games have such hype and weight to them, and I don't know if it's the way they announce games on with their trailers. I don't know what creates it, but it's just this craziness.
And I will say this has been one thing I want to talk about this is this fan base in particular has been very rabid. There's something about the spacefaring games like
Star Wars and
No
Star
Man's
Trek
Sky,
shit.
where people are just crazy.
They're crazy.
Just you say anything bad about it, they will flip out. And so like the first review that went up for this was by Jim Sterling, and he gave it a 5 out of 10. Said, "Man, it's okay. Like it could have been better," and critiqued it. And they actually DDoSed his entire site for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
I know, it's ridiculous. He made another video today addressing that fan base. Like he's just like, this is insane, and he calls out those type of people, not just fans of the game, and just he's like these people.
Not that his fans at all. He called out like those individual people.
Crazy, like crazies. I don't understand it. Like I don't know. You're right. These space games, it could be the leftover people from the Star Trek, Star Wars battles. I have no clue, but it's just these people are just insane. They like I wouldn't trust them behind a friggin' aircraft, like one of those like goddamn if they had laser beams that could start shooting people, because it's just like, you don't like my game, death to you. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, calm the hell down. Maybe because they can't do a multiplayer online community in No Man's Sky, and they can't meet with people that like the game like them. Oops. Maybe there's no multiplayer. That's why it needs multiplayer, so those rabid fan base can play in the game. Lies. Lies.
What about you, Fame? What do you think about all this?
Give me a second.
All right. Yeah, so
I think he said bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so my bad. I'm sick as hell. I'm sick as heck right now, so I apologize. Honestly, here's the thing. I think there's a bit of a contradiction that doesn't work in the favor of No Man's Sky, which is a bit unfair. A lot of people complain about $60 games and the amount of content we get for it. That's one thing you can't say about this game. It does not give you a lot of content. It does give you a lot of content, and if you were, I contribute this game to more of the Ark slash Minecraft slash type of people, who want to constantly just explore and build stuff. They don't really care about anything else. They just want to build stuff and explore the world. So I kind of equate that to the type of fan base this is too. But at the same time, it's not for me. Just by looking at the gameplay, it looks boring. I don't really like the color scheme. I don't like the redness. It's just not for me. If I went to play a space game, it'd probably be like Elite Dangerous because it's more spacey and spaceship. But this is more of a, yeah, you could be in space, but you're immediately gonna land. It's all about being on the planets and seeing these ugly looking creatures. So it's not for me. I do say it does get a bad rap when it comes to value. Uh, some people say indie shouldn't cost 60. Well, this indie gives you a lot of content. And if you're into this type of game, I think it's a great buy for you. If you're into exploring and crafting, this is a great buy for you. It's just not for everybody. I think it just appeals to a certain crowd. And I think a lot of people who bought it off of hype, they're not going to be playing it in the next month. They're going to stop playing it because it's not going to be. They're going to get tired of doing the same thing. Even though the planets are different and the animals can change and all this stuff, people will get tired of doing the same thing eventually. And if you're not like I said, Ark, Minecraft type of person, you're not going to be playing this game for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the randomness is great, and that's the unlimited content. But it's like, say if you had a multiplayer map, and you basically get a multiplayer, like a shooter, and you just said, hey, it does randomly generated multiplayer maps, and you just hit random, and it uses the same assets, but just mixes them around. It's not gonna. People are gonna realize that they're gonna see the code, they're gonna see the matrix, all right, that head is over there now, and that's kind of what this game turned into, and the exploration's there. I think the problem is the premise is incredible. Just think if they had a game like this, and people were saying oh, this is Fallout in space, but just imagine if they had something like this, and they had Fallout type missions, or they had or they did some sort of go to this random planet over here, or an Elite Dangerous where you could actually find an actual star system and go to a particular area, and that planet is randomly generated. I think the premise is what people were amazing on. Again, the potential, which I'm just tired of games saying I'm going to buy it with the potential that they add base building into it with them doing this, and it's just the game should be fun in the beginning, and then that other stuff should be bonus. It shouldn't be the game is it's gonna get good now on the next few months. That's where everything's going, and it's just ridiculous because now he's oh, we're gonna put base building in there. It's not Minecraft because you can't build. You can't do it. You only could craft. You can't build a base station and say this is my planet. And if it's randomly generated, who the hell knows you ever see that planet again?
Yeah, I think actually it's a good point. I think that for a while there, we were really into the whole we'd rather have no limits, just let it go wherever it's going to go. And I think we're starting to appreciate labor-intensive people actually putting a lot of time and effort into developing a smaller area that we're going to be into a lot, other than just having one random, a little bit, have a little algorithm that's going to determine what the game looks like and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people are just kind of tired of that, and they want to see I'd rather have someone who spends 5 years working on this one map and have put a lot of time and effort into it so it feels great, and then have it instead of having it just be just some random algorithm putting it all together.
Yeah, just like Forge, how Forge was it was just the same, in Halo Forge, it was just the same tool set, but then people mixed them in different ways to give you different aspects. But it was fun because you got the different level design, but you got the different layouts. But the thing is that it wasn't really appealing because you kind of said, oh, that's a wall, but they're using it here as a platform, and and that's kind of what happened with this game is that the animals they have variation, but not designed variation, an artist would design this oh, this creature is indigenous to this land, it's all water, so he'll have fins, he won't have he won't be a bipedal, or he won't have anything like that. I'm going to give you a premise for No Man's Sky. How about, it probably would have been better than randomly generated, how about you put it online and you make each person build their own planet with assets, and they host that planet, and you could go visit other people's planets and explore somebody else's created planet. So every planet in the universe is a user-generated planet. Like, there you go. Now you have somebody has put thought in the system and actually laid their planet out in a certain. It'll be so much more interesting to fly into that and do something that somebody, a person, designed, rather than some computer that just says ABC. ABC. Let's all mix it up in all different ways, and that's what this is doing.
I don't know. I mean, it's this kind of game. I don't know how that would work. Not in terms of like how it would work, but like it's supposed to be a bunch of different people going on different stuff, looking for something brand new, and eventually, the thing is with user created content is if you're randomly going into stuff, you can't moderate it. So let's say you rate the game
like dildo trees,
and someone makes a giant dick.
Hey,
like just makes it look like that. It's like, oh,
E through M. That's what I rated that.
E through M. Beautiful.
Well, you can block out M-rated planets, like the fucking red light district planet. It would be awesome though, but I'm just saying,
you can't have someone moderating it the whole time. You can't have some guy actually just looking around.
That's what the 15 guys can do over there.
Dick.
It would be interesting to land on a dick planet though. That would be pretty crazy. If somebody really think that up. Look at this dick tree. Well, actually, I saw a tweet there. They're finding dick animals.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So there you go. God. Where's the M rating now? No Man's Sky.
It's got like two giant mosquito eyes and a weird like elephant in the trunk.
Dick nose.
Oh,
there you go. See, it's rated M. But yeah, and that's what I was wondering too. I was like, maybe that's why he was so like just vague, because I think they just said, "Hey guys, 15 of us, yeah, let's go." You know what? You develop 20 different types of trees. You develop 20 different types of animal parts, and then we'll just throw it in this algorithm, and the game will just make itself. And that's why I wonder, and that's why he's sort of like, yeah, you can, like, because all they sold you on was the variety, the variability, and the infinite, the discovery of the whole thing, but never on the kind of the mechanics and like what you do there. And still, now everybody's finding you really don't do anything. You just watch what the computer gives you, and you know, and this is people sold on just it just shows that, you know, the unlimited buffet, if the food sucks, who gives a shit if it's unlimited? Give me somewhere where I'll have like a controlled design meal from a chef that like put the stuff together, and I'll appreciate that more. Yeah, it's only one plate, but at least I'll like enjoy it rather than give me a buffet of just ass, you know?
This is what happens when you get engineers to make an art project.
Pretty much, yeah. Programmers made a game instead of, you don't have any art, like you don't have any like, you know, an art group, or they have art assets, but they don't have like, you're right, a bunch of engineers. It's like, let's just do this, and that's why it's an indie game. Like it should be appreciated for its indie and its ambition. But you know, and Sony grabbed it, and they just put their kind of seal of just like shadiness on it, and it just, why they ruined the expectations of this game. This game could have been a sleeper hit, rather it was a colossal like just disappointment.
And by the way, before I say this anyway, we're not just being fanboyish here. I mean, Sony really did some real shady stuff. I mean,
they did.
Anyone who made videos just talking about it, we're getting like copyright takedowns. Like it was pretty shady. Yeah. We aren't just making this up.
No, they were shady with this. They put claims in against the no. It wasn't just individual YouTubers. It was like against the no. They went again, and they just took down anything of leaked gameplay. And it wasn't leaked gameplay. It was people commenting
like trailer gameplay.
Yeah, so and it was people commentating negatively on it, that they said, "Oh no, shut the video down."
Oh, not even that. There was that one guy who he was talking positively about it. And he got like 2 copyright strikes, and like I think it was just 1. He lost the ability to stream, and he was like, "I was talking about the game. I was excited. I was going to do a 24-hour stream for charity, and now I can't stream it. Thanks."
Yeah, and for what? And what I kept saying during that time on Twitter was like, for a game that is unlimited, if it's unlimited and a cajillion planets and varied gameplay and stuff, what are you hiding from? Like, this is what you want. You want the community to kind of tell a story with this, just like Minecraft. How people tell stories in Minecraft, and you know, they make the world like this. It's not Mojang saying like, "Well, here's a narrative." people created. So in this thing, what are you hiding? This wasn't a 4 to 6 hour game with actors like a Quantum Break type game where you're gonna ruin the story if you show Act 3. This was just like people. The planet's randomly generated. Who says you're ever gonna see that planet when you get the game? What are you hiding?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be hiding something. They were hiding the boring ass gameplay. That's what they were hiding.
We'll see. But anyway, I just want to, before we wrap everything up, I want to briefly talk about the Nuka World DLC, which got that trailer for the last Fallout 4 DLC, at least the last one that we know of. It's going to be coming out later this month. I think it's like right at the end, actually. And it's going to be set in this basically Disney World. So it's basically set in Disney World, and it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, it's just kind of craziness. Like, for those of you that have been waiting for that DLC, Fallout normally has that one DLC for each game that's just totally weird, like completely out of the blue. A good example being with Fallout 3, it was kind of like Mothership Zeta, where it was just random, like, oh yeah, here's a cowboy and a samurai and all this other stuff together. In New Vegas, it was, I'd probably call it Old World Blues, was pretty nutsy. I mean, this one's kind of in that same vein. Like, there's like a paddle ball weapon. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but I just know there's a paddle ball weapon.
Yeah, it's like an electric paddle ball.
Like an alligator monster. Like, it's nuts. It looks crazy.
Yeah, I saw a video. It looked really awesome. It definitely has like the mini games of like skee ball and just like the bashing game. I think they like have all these little mini like amusement park and mini games in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And it really looks cool because it's something that they really never explored before with like an amusement park, and you can ride the rides. Like you can ride.
Yeah, the rides actually work. It's not just.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I'm thinking it's prepping it all for the HTC Vive, like the VR, because you could just think about that roller coaster thing, like doing that in first person or doing all those amusement park games. Yeah, it definitely fits that VR, which they announced with the, the Fallout 4 VR next year or whatever. It comes out in spring. I don't know, next year.
Yeah, next year, I believe.
Yeah.
I would say VR will bring a special element to No Man's Sky. I think it'll look. I think a lot of people would enjoy. I think that. Not saying I would go buy a VR just and buy that game. I'm just saying if I would have the opportunity to experience that game in VR, that would make me play it just because I want that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried Elite Dangerous in VR, and I'm telling you, when you play it, like you definitely feel like you're immersed. You're not going to be playing those 7 hours of just grinding, clicking a button. But when you're in the cockpit and you're getting out and walking around, you might play at a less interval of time, but during that time, you're definitely more immersed and it's more engaging than if you're using a controller clicking a button. So I definitely could see how VR in that game could probably lead to the exploration of it. Just definitely.
Yeah, I told myself one day I think I will jump into VR, but I think it wouldn't be it'd be one of the things where I buy it because I got people coming over to try it because, I played Doom VR and that thing was amazing. That thing was amazing. At first I was like, I don't care about this. And Nick was like, come on, man, give it a shot. Dude, that made me say, you know what, one day I will purchase VR. And when I do, it'll be the HTC Vive. Just because
that's what I have.
It's amazing.
I brought it over to my friend's house yesterday. A grown-ass 36-year-old man curled up in the floor screaming because a zombie was coming at him. This was not rehearsed. He ripped the shit out of my friggin' USB. Like, he ripped it. He saw this turnaround, saw the zombie coming at him, and he ran out of bullets, and he's just, like, swinging with the butt of his gun, and he's hitting it, and it was, like, killing him, and he just, like, curled up screaming on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, you're dead. Like, it just, the screen turns red. Like, it invokes, like, this primal instinct when you're in that thing. It is the craziest thing ever, and I can't wait to play Doom VR.
I just don't find myself paying $800 for it and having to get a PC to run it. It's just not for me right now. But dude, Doom VR is the reason why I will pick this up because dude, trust me, once you put that on and you're not gonna put nothing else for a while. It is great. It's great.
Can't wait. And I want the Fallout VR. I think will be awesome too. Like just having that Pip-Boy and looking up there and able to touch it and stuff like that. Just being in there and talking to the characters, like it's definitely going to add value. And this is just the first gen of it. Just imagine this is how it started as well.
Not even thinking about that. Like, there's a couple missions in Fallout 4 where it gets really creepy. Like, there's, for those of you that just briefly, the Salem Witch Museum, like there's basically a devil above you, and you can hear it walking around on right above you. You can hear it moving, and you're going in through the basement, and you have to go up these stairs. Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. I can't wait until they do that. Oh, clearly it's going to be in that. If it's Fallout 4, it's going to be VR compatible. That will be a big moment.
Oh my god, that sounds crazy. And also too, like your Pip-Boy saw your flashlight, so if like you hold it up, you could like it'll like and I've used like games where you had a torch in there, and like if you hold it above your head, it illuminates right. If you do it low, like just imagine having that kind of control of lighting in an environment. Like it really is something amazing. Like and I do think in a game like No Man's Sky, it definitely would add to it, but and I don't know, maybe Sony might announce it in September. No Man's Sky with PSVR, but I don't think that game's going to run well. If it's dropping frame rates now, I don't think it's going to run PSVR.
Yeah, I mean, I read an article that says it might be dropping for PSVR, but to me, that headset, I don't believe will be as powerful. I mean, look at the price difference between it, the Vive, and the Oculus. The price is different because the power is different.
Yeah.
And so I just don't think it'll be able to run those type of games how I think they should run, or how I've experienced them before. So,
yeah, it's a good hardware. Like I tried it over at Best Buy. It's good hardware, but it's just the PlayStation just can't. Like you definitely see like there's no textures. Like I didn't see like the body. Like when I'm sitting there and look down, there's no like model of the body. Like there's definitely shortcuts they do to get the frame rate up and low fidelity graphics. It still immerses you, but it's definitely like
Even with the PS Neo and you want to play PSVR, you still won't get a better experience than you would off of Vive and a PC.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get better frame rates. You'll get more solid frame rates, I'm sure, with the Neo. But yeah, it's never
clearly
not going to give you that.
PC and the Vive and the Oculus are by far the only true way to get the best experience. That's the way to go.
I wanted to say something too. Like this, I don't know if a lot of people caught this, and I don't know if you guys let me know if I'm wrong. But today, Oculus supported the Windows 10 version of Minecraft, and I think it's one of the first games that in the Windows Store that supports a VR headset.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, because I think I tried Vive, like you have to do the Java version, but you could do Vive Minecraft. I tried it; it's incredible. And the Oculus one's like that. It's going to be insane. But I do think it's the first one in there, which could be sort of like a preface to what they're going to do with Scorpio, or do moving on with supporting VR capable games in their store or on their system. So I don't know. I think it's in the Windows 10 version supports it. They said everybody they'll patch it in so it works with the Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. It's gonna be interesting next year. I'm telling you, next year's gonna be crazy. I just this year with Gears is gonna be awesome, and with all the stuff. But next year is gonna be a whole new. It's gonna be a whole new roller coaster next year.
Dude, next year's gonna be crazy, dude. I can't wait. Yes, I mean, just speaking on the Xbox side, I mean, their PS4 has some games I'm really looking forward to, like Horizon Zero Dawn. But the Xbox side, Jesus Christ, next year is going to be loaded with Crackdown, Scalebound. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. All right. Briefly, thanks everybody for showing up. Also, thanks Mikey Barr for watching the show. So thanks everybody for.
Mikey.
Let's give everybody their shout out time. We want to get off in time for other shows to get in. So first off, I want to thank our guest for the evening, Jez.
Hey, thank you everybody. You can follow me at Jez7780 at Twitter, and thanks again for having me on the show. Love being here.
All right, and my co-host, Fame Entertainment.
Let's see if I can do this as smooth as earlier. What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from the Inner Circle. Thank you guys once again for watching the greatest podcast on a Monday. If you are watching any other podcast today, then you are watching the absolute wrong show. Once again, we do have a Gears of War 4 giveaway up and running on our website. For some reason, it is not in the description, so Anchorman let me down today. But go to our website, tickgn.com. On the right-hand side, you see a little magnifying glass. Click that magnifying glass, which is Bash, which is the search button. Type in Gears of War 4 giveaway and enter to win. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jeff, for on the show. Anchorman, you my dog. Once again, great show.
All right, thanks everybody for showing up. This has been Anchorman here with the Multiverse Podcast, the greatest show on Mondays, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.